NASCAR drivers are intended to race in ovals majority of the season. We've seen NASCAR drivers race outside of NASCAR. For example, Indy cars, sports cars, dirt sprint cars, dirt late models, wingless midgets, rally cars, and even Formula 1 cars, so on and so forth. You've heard NASCAR drivers going left and right, but did you know that some NASCAR drivers race straight? Yep, you heard that right. Anyway, in this video, we're going to be talking about NASCAR drivers who went drag racing. The rule in this video is that a NASCAR driver did NASCAR first and then did some drag racing, whether they actually did a drag racing competition race or just drove a drag racing car. Therefore, Tanner Gray will be excluded from the videos since his racing career began in drag racing, despite making a comeback at Maple Grove Raceway for the 2022 Pep Boys Nationals, replacing Derek Kramer. John Andretti is also a driver who also did NHRA and NASCAR, but John raced in the NHRA before racing in NASCAR, so he will not be on this list as well. Hopefully that will not be any confusion for anybody. With that being said, let's begin. Richard Petty is the king of NASCAR with 200 NASCAR Cup Series wins, but back in 1964, Richard Petty's 426 Hemi was so dominant, Bill France banned the Hemis in 1965, so instead of going to NASCAR racing in 1965, Richard Petty went drag racing. Petty's drag car was a 1965 Barracuda Hemi 426. Unfortunately, Richard Petty's drag racing career was remembered for one tragic moment. While racing against Arnie Beswick, Richard Petty's car had a broken front suspension sent that Barracuda into a crowd of spectators, killing an 8-year-old boy and injuring 8 others. After the accident, Petty did some drag racing, but he did not have much joy after what went down. Shortly after, Richard Petty made a return to NASCAR for the rest of his racing career. What happened to the drag racing stuff? Devastated. Petty ordered the remaining of the outlaw card buried on his property so he or anyone else will never have to see it again. Also, I believe you can see his drag racing cars in his museum. Originally, I was going to separate Clinton and Kenny on this list, but both of them were at the same track at the same day. Anyway, to honor the grand opening of the newly built Z-Max Dragway at Charlotte, North Carolina in 2008, and for a Speed TV special segment, Clint Boyer and Kenny Wallace were in a 14,000 horsepower post stocks with NHRA post stock drivers Dave Connolly and Jeg Coughlin. Both drivers did 3 burnouts and a pair of launches. Even Richard Childress was there alongside with NHRA team owner Victor Cagnazzi. Here's some brief clips on how it went down.
Your brake pressure up on 1200, hold your line lock down. Good job, buddy, good job. All right, just clip her off.
Well, you look good. You look good.
Good job, man.
You can feel it starting to bite, and it starts to launch there. You got to throttle it back up. That's what I didn't do.
Yeah, that's all good.
Hey, I'm not going to lie. And bleep this out. It scared the shit out of me. Right. Get him, Herb.
Well, you know, we got a little something to work on, which is nice. Next one will be no problem at all, I have a feeling.
What do you think? Not for us.
I feel like I'm at a school.
You're so nervous you can't think about it. That's exactly what it is.
Great job, buddy, great job.
A lot better.
Hell of a job. Our driver's got this down.
Okay, whenever you're ready, go for it. There you go. Cover the clutch. Perfect.
This is a lot better. Man, it's starting to go sideways.
I felt like I was at Eldora.
Just watch my hands and I'll bring you in. Go ahead when you're ready.
He dumped the clutch and nailed it at the same time, didn't he?
Yeah, just make sure you're clean on that.
But when I dropped the clutch, it was like, it set me back in the seat. And it was like G-forces that I felt on that airplane, that F-18.
Oh, that hard?
I never dreamed in a million years a pro stock would do that.
You're nice and straight. Just pull straight forward. Go to David.
You can't tell a race car driver the hole's wide open and just sit there.
Bring her on back here. We're going to try her again. Okay, 2-4. There you go. There you go.
Is that crazy or what?
It launched that time.
It launched. That was big. It was a big difference between the first one and the second one.
It was a big difference.
Yeah. I want to thank everybody at Cagnazzi. Thanks, Jeggy.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. We learned from the best right there.
What an incredible day at the drag strip. I think I'll stay going in circles for a while.
Me too.
Even though Clint and Kenny would prefer to race cars in circles, it was still fun time to give drag racing a try just for the fun of it. Kurt Busch is extremely well known as one of NASCAR's best drivers. However, he did some racing outside of NASCAR. He competed in his only IndyCar race at the 2014 Indianapolis 500, finishing 6th, winning the 2014 Indianapolis 500 Rookie of the Year. He raced in the 2014 Race of Champions with Indy 500 teammate and 2014 Indy 500 champion Ryan Hunter-Reay, and competed at the 2017 Race of Champions alongside with his younger brother Kyle Busch. And Kurt Busch competed at the 2005 and 2008 Rolex 24 at Daytona. But on the weekend of March 2011, Kurt Busch made his NHRA debut at the 2011 Gator Nationals in the Pro Stock class, which is owned by Alan Johnson. On Friday, Kurt had a bad start due to wheel spinning too much after he let the clutch out and the tire shake. During the second qualifying session against Vincent Noble, he got timed out after waiting too long, so his time did not count. Kurt Busch qualified 12th with a 6.53 and a speed of 211 miles per hour. On race day, he was going against Eric Enders on round 1. Unfortunately for Kurt, Eric Enders would beat him by 0.3 of a second at the line. Kurt's reaction time was a .049 and 211.59 miles per hour. Kurt said it was a learning curve and did it the right way. The 2011 Gator Nationals would be Kurt Busch's only NHRA start in his racing career. No matter what car he is on, Tony Stewart will put his hands on the steering wheel of anything. Whether it's a winless sprint car, an Indy car, a stock car, a prototype, a wing sprint car, a dirt late model, a Formula 1 car, an SRX car, and yes, even a drag racing car. A true wheelman. To be honest, Tony Stewart's Las Vegas run back in the fall is the reason why I made this video. So let's get into it. On October 22nd, 2020, Tony Stewart tested a top fuel dragster for the first time in Florida. Nearly 1 year later, on October 14th, 2021, it was announced that Tony Stewart would start a drag racing NHRA team, hiring his wife, Leah Pruitt, for the top fuel class and Matt Hagan for the funny car class. 3 months later, on January 22nd, Dodge SRT and Mopar will be partners for Tony Stewart Racing. On March 13th, 2022, Matt Hagan would give Tony Stewart Racing their very first win in NHRA and first win in funny car at the 2022 Gator Nationals after Blake Alexander's bad start. 4 months later, Leah Pruitt would get her second win at Denver since 2018 and got Tony Stewart Racing the first win in the top fuel class, defeating Sean Langdon. On October 24, 2022, it was announced that Tony Stewart would make his first NHRA start a top alcohol dragster in an NHRA Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series. His first run would be a 5.219 with a qualifying pass and a speed of 276.52 miles per hour. The car was tuned by Rich McPhillips. On race day, Tony Stewart's day was amazing. He was doing so good, he even advanced all the way to the final round, racing against Madison Payne, a third-generation driver of the Payne family. However, Madison Payne would beat Tony Stewart in the finals and win at Las Vegas for the top alcohol dragster class. Despite the defeat, Tony's journey in NHRA in 2022 was a learning but amazing experience. His future for the NHRA world looks bright, whether it's being a team owner or maybe he might do some more drag racing. Who knows? So those are the NASCAR drivers on this list that drove or raced in drag racing. Are there any other NASCAR drivers that did drag racing and I missed on the list? Feel free to tell me in the comments below. I want to say thank you guys so much for watching this video. This is the Impress 2000 signing off. Goodbye everybody.